Hello everyone and welcome on into another LEGO Marvel CMF review on my channel. Today we are checking out my X-Men, X2, and X-Men The Last Stand CMF series. This is going to be 12 unique, vast figures from these three first-generation X-Men films. So without further ado, let's get on into the video. Alright, starting off the series, we have a figure that hasn't been made into LEGO yet, and is quite a forgettable minifigure, but he shows up in the first part of the first X-Men film, and that is, of course, Toad. Now, Toad was quite a difficult minifigure to draw, as there was no really full-on color for his face, so I gave him kind of a sickly green with a kind of face expression that looks like he's almost in awe. He has bags under his eyes as well as the sleepyhead hairpiece in black. His torso and legs are all new printing, with the legs being dual molded there, as well as his hands are black, and he comes with two little toads as an accessory, as of course in the movie he doesn't really hold anything or have really anything important, and I couldn't really give him like a full-on tongue. Up next we have Sabretooth. Now, Sabretooth again was also very difficult to draw, with of course that being the face there, which I had to incorporate somewhat his big black eyes, and I couldn't really do that because LEGO already has black eyes and uses a white pupil as kind of just the main color. So I added another little dot of white below that to kind of give it that little shine or that little kind of gleam in the eyes. I also gave him his sideburns and his facial hair around there, as well as some big bushy eyebrows. I gave him the Aquaman hairpiece in orangey yellow, as well as gave him a tattered look on his torso and his leg printing there, with the legs having a bit of side printing there with the shoes. I also gave him some claws in tan and gave him a ripped sleeve. Then on to our first hero of the series, we have Storm. For Storm, I decided to give her Hermione's hairpiece in white, as that fits the bangy kind of long hair look that she has in the image on the left there. I also gave her all new torso and leg printing, with not much detail, just enough to show the outfit right on the left there, as well as I gave her an all new cape to wrap around her hands there, as well as gave her some lightning bolts as an accessory. And now on to the main bad guy of the first X-Men film. We have, of course, Magneto. For Magneto, I decided to bring back his old cowl piece from 2014, this time in dark red. I also decided to give him a two-colored cape, with the back being black and the front, or the inside, being in red. I also gave him some dual molded legs with a bit of hip printing there, as well as some new printing on the torso there, as well as a little disc piece in trans purple, as well as a little minifigure in white to symbolize the chess game. His face isn't anything new, it's the same one that they used back in 2014, but I still think it fits Ian McKellen pretty good. And now on to our first minifigure from the second X-Men film, and I'll probably do this in between just to mark when these figures kind of come in and when they don't. So for our first X2 minifigure, we have Nightcrawler. For Nightcrawler, he was a pretty simple minifigure to do. I didn't give him any accessories as he doesn't really use them, and in the comics he has a little cutlass sword, but in the movie he doesn't use it. So for him, I gave him the elf hair in the black color with some stone blue ears right over there, as well as gave him an all new face print there, showing a teethy smile with all of his markings around his face there, as well as gave him all new torso printing and leg printing, with the legs of course being the fawn legs with a bit of printing on the toes there to show his kind of claw-like feet, as well as I gave him the devil tail from series 18, I believe, which is also in stone blue. Up next is the leader of the X-Men, that being, of course, Charles Xavier, or Professor X. I didn't base him off of a specific outfit from a movie. This is just a basic kind of like representation of him. And I also gave him a all new mold for his wheelchair there, which has a neck rest and two armrests. His suit is in dark stone gray there, with a purple tie and a blue undershirt there, as well as I gave him some wrinkles on his face to show his old age. Following up after Charles Xavier, we probably have the most famous X-Men and my personal favorite of the series, which is Wolverine. For Wolverine, I gave him, of course, a new hairstyle, as the spiked back one that he usually uses in the X-Men LEGO sets doesn't really fit him that well, so I gave him a dark brown hairpiece with some little side fringes there, with some gray side printing there to show kind of the stressing silver hairs that are coming in. I also gave him a annoyed face expression with his classic sideburns and bushy eyebrows, and for his suit I decided to give him the suit he uses in the third X-Men film, which of course is his yellow and black leather kind of biker suit there. However, I did give him his signature claws there and some side arm printing. Following up after Wolverine, we have Cyclops, one of the also better known X-Men. For him, I gave him Han Solo's hairpiece in reddish brown there, as well as almost the same kind of suit design as Wolverine. However, I did his in a bit of dark gray and black there. I also gave him some side arm printing there, as well as a all new face expression showing his goggles there. And for an accessory, I gave him a little red heart, kind of symbolizing his love for Jean Grey. Next up, we have the scientist for the X-Men, that of course being Beast. Now this is also based off of his X-Men suit from the third movie, which all the other suits have been based off of, and for him I decided to go with a base color of a pale kind of light blue, matched with the regular blue for his hair and fur there, as well as the arms there. I gave him a navy blue jumpsuit with the X-Men symbol on his right there, as well as some side arm printing, which of course is dual molded onto it with dark blue and the regular blue. I also gave him a syringe and a flask as his accessory, as of course he is the scientist, and a bit of leg printing, however it is minute. For his face expression, I gave him a wrinkled look there with an unenthused kind of smile or smirk there, as well as I gave him the casual sideburns and an all new hairpiece, which is just a bunch of different waves and curls. And now moving into our final three. Starting that off, we have Rogue. This is based off of her outfit from the third X-Men film, and I gave her the classic woman hair in dark brown there with a strand of white to of course coincide with the picture on the left there. I also gave her the suit that most of the X-Men use, and this in black with some gray highlights there with the X-Men symbol on her belt, and I also gave her a little playing card to show her love for Gambit in the comics. I know it's not really accurate to the movie, but it is the best accessory I could use. For our second last minifigure in the series, and probably the dullest minifigure, we have Iceman. For Iceman, I gave him a baby blue color for his skin tone to kind of symbolize him using his ice powers, as well as on the torso there you can see some blue highlights, because I wanted to spice it up, and I thought if I was just repeating the same torso design that I gave for like 5 minifigures, it'd be a bit boring. So for him, I gave him a bit of blue highlights in there, as well as I gave him his hairpiece, which of course is Captain America's hairpiece, in a pale ice blue, and I gave him an ice shard for his accessory using the transparent kind of power pieces. And closing out our series, we have the main villain from the third X-Men film, which of course is Jean Grey, or the Dark Phoenix. For her, I gave her a orangey brown hairpiece, which is of course the Wonder Woman hair. I also gave her an all new face expression showing a aggressive kind of look there, as well as all new torso and leg printing with a new waist cape there, and the legs of course dual molded with half of them being dark brown. For her, I also gave her a little red energy piece for her hand there to symbolize the power that she uses, and because Mecha Bricks does not have the Power Blast pieces. But there you have it, all 12 minifigures from the X-Men trilogy. Since this is a CMF series, I had to do some art for the set, so there is the bag art there, As you can see, there's 6 minifigures up there with the set number and of course the age, because LEGO likes to put that on there with the X-Men logo under there for the branding, as well as I decided to make the box that they would go in. So there you have the limited edition 12 minifigures signed there with the LEGO number right there, as well as a few little minifigures on the side there with the bags in there. But anyways, if you guys did go on to enjoy the video, please make sure to subscribe and like the video, as that helps me put out a lot more content for you guys, as well as helps me get reached out to a lot more people, as I am a more small creator. Make sure to stay tuned for next month, as we are doing a review on my custom Miss Marvel display set. But anyways, thanks.